just anti-government protests Turkey has seen in years show no signs of stopping as the disquiet over President Recep Erdogan's 20-year rule of the country continues to emerge. Thousands of people marched on the streets of Istanbul for a sixth night following the arrest of the city's mayor. Last week, Ekrem Imamoglu remains in a Turkish prison charged with corruption. President Erdogan has accused the opposition of provoking what he called a movement of violence, which has seen over 1,000 people arrested as he tried to contain the dissent. Well, our correspondent Mark Lohan, who has spent many years covering the Erdogan presidency, has been on the streets of Istanbul, speaking to protesters night after night. This is growing the biggest street protest here in Turkey in more than a decade, after the arrest of Ekrem Imamoglu, the mayor of Istanbul, who they believe was jailed just because he is President Erdogan's main political rival. It is galvanizing the side of Turkey that feels stifled by President Erdogan's authoritarian rule, and they say they are not going to leave these streets until Imam is out of jail and Erdogan is out of power. I mean, we're all sick and tired of the oppression that has been going on for such a while in Turkey, and we're all fed up with it. And after all these things that happened to Imamoglu and all the other political, people that are sent to jail, we're just fed up and we can't take it anymore. So we are here to defend our rights and to protest against the government. Well, I'm just here to express my feelings about. And what are your feelings? I mean, it's bad. I mean, democracy is failing. So it's not a good news for everyone. So I wish that everyone is just reversed to normal. And we can just live our hap. What is the Turkey that you want? Democracy. Like pure democracy. As everyone wants nothing more, nothing else. I mean, I just want to live my life. I mean, everyone else thinks the same. I mean, no one wants to be here. No, bun. Everyone wants to be at their home. I mean, working in their homes. And supporting their families, etc., etc. But here we are, just trying to bring democracy back. We here because of the mayor of Istanbul, Imamoglu. But after everyone realize how bad country situation is, because of the economy inflation, and because of the justice, because of the femicides, because of lot of things, we have lot of problems about our country. And after that, everyone realize it's not just it's not just problem. We have lot of problems in our protesters. They're speaking to our correspondent, Mark Lohan. Well, for more on this, we can speak to Monica Marks, who's Professor of Middle East Politics at New York University in Abu Dhabi. Thanks very much for your time here on BBC News. We were talking there. It's 6 days of protest. Now, what do you think that says about the strength of feeling? It says that there's a huge upswelling of feeling. A lot of Turkish people feel that this is really the last stop on Turkey's political train before it reaches full dictatorship station. For at least a decade now, Turkey has been what most political scientists call a hybrid or competitive authoritarian regime, meaning there are competitive elections, the opposition can win, but the elections aren't free and fair, and it's extraordinarily difficult for the opposition. Media is not free, and fair campaigns are not free and fair, and Erdogan was working for years since Imamoglu was first elected mayor of Istanbul in 2019 to foreclose his political future. But I think few people in Turkey thought that Erdogan would go far enough as to put him in prison to jail him. This is crossing new Rubicons in Turkish politics. It's a humiliation, a harsh indignity that supporters of Turkey's main opposition party, from which Imamoglu hails, have never faced in their history. So you're seeing a massive upswelling. But of course, Erdogan would not have done this if he didn't. think that the domestic and international conditions were right for him to get away with it. So what do you think Erdogan's next step will be then? Because, as I said, 6 days. It doesn't seem like these protests are going to come to an end anytime soon. So what's his next step? He wants to make sure that the protests don't get bigger, and he wants them to fizzle away. He wants these young people to get tired, and he wants it to end with them. Turkey doesn't have elections again until 2028, so he's hoping that the energy won't last that long. He's also hoping that police forces can exercise enough repression, intimidation, and even violence. We have seen beatings of protesters and the use of banned forms of tear gas against them, that it'll tamp down and scare these young people, but that it won't go so far with the repression that it'll kill protesters or create viral moments to further inflame the protests. Clearly, those protesters have the opinion that things have been changing slowly over time. Do you think there's anything that Erdogan can do at this stage to win them back? Yeah, he can let Imamoglu out of prison. I don't think that you can keep the top political opponent in the country in prison and not inflame people, especially when the economy is nosed. When Erdogan was first elected in 2002, his party was ironically an engine of democratization and pro-EU accession and pro-competent handling of the economy. But on all of those counts, his political party is a far cry from what it was then. And another bitter irony is that Erdogan himself used to be mayor of Istanbul, and he himself was politically imprisoned. And that is the central experience that catapulted him to political stardom. So now he's very much older, under more political threat, less popular, has presided over economic declines, and he now is the person who is politically imprisoning, anti-democratically repressing the current mayor of Istanbul. So this could go either direction. This could consolidate full authoritarianism in Turkey, or it could be the start of the end for Erdogan.